All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about something I know is frustrating a lot of leaders out there. You've brought in the shiny new AI coding tools, everyone's buzzing about it, but the real bottom line results, they just aren't there. So today, we're going to get into why that's happening and more importantly, what you can actually do to fix it. And this is the core paradox, isn't it? It feels completely backwards. Your engineers are cranking out code like never before thanks to AI. All your activity charts are pointing up and to the right. But somehow, you feel like you're losing ground. Projects are still slipping, and the pressure is still on. It's a super common problem, and it's maddening. This slide really cuts to the chase. We get so caught up in measuring activity, lines of code, number of commits, but what actually moves the needle for the business is throughput. That's the real measure. How much finished, valuable work are we actually shipping to customers? Just making the pile of code bigger doesn't mean you're delivering more value. So as a manager, does this list give you a little bit of déjà vu? These are the classic signs that something's wrong under the hood. The AI pumps out more code, which just creates a massive traffic jam in the review queues for your senior people. To try and keep up, everyone starts multitasking, which, as we know, just creates more mistakes and more rework. Quality starts to get shaky, and pretty soon your best, most expensive experts are spending all their time just putting out fires instead of designing the future. Okay, so what is the real root cause of all this chaos? Here's a hint. It's not the AI's fault. To figure this out, we need to look past the symptoms and find your system's real constraint. And here it is. This is probably the single most important thing to grasp from our whole chat today. Your real bottleneck, it is not how fast your team can code. It's the limited, precious, and totally scarce attention of your senior experts. Their focus time is the most valuable resource you have, and it's the one thing you can't just buy more of. Think about what those experts are actually doing all day. They're consumed by the really hard stuff, right? Architecting the big, complex systems. Doing those critical code reviews that nobody else can do, figuring out tricky integrations between teams. And now you've added another huge task to their plate, validating all the code the AI is spitting out. Speeding up the easy part, the coding, just sends a tidal wave of work crashing into these critical checkpoints. Now, what's really fascinating here is the vicious cycle this whole thing creates. The AI is generating more work, which slams your already maxed out experts. But at the exact same time, who do you need to actually manage the AI rollout? Who has to set the standards, train the team, and redesign the workflows? Yep, the very same experts. So you're hitting your bottleneck from both sides at once. It's a double whammy. All right, so that's the problem, and it's a big one. It's a systemic problem. But the good news is systemic problems have systemic solutions. So let's talk about a proven framework that actually gets this right. This right here is the fundamental shift in thinking that you have to make. Stop thinking about this as just rolling out a new tool. That's not it. This is a constraint management problem. Your number one job as a manager isn't to deploy AI. It's to protect and amplify the focused attention of your experts. And that's where this system, FAST, comes in. Now, this isn't some new management fad that was cooked up last week. It's a science-based framework that's been proven for over 3 decades to get incredible results, all by focusing relentlessly on the one thing that's holding the whole system back. The approach itself is beautifully simple but incredibly powerful. First, you find the constraint, which, as we know, is that expert attention. Second, you accelerate the flow of valuable work through that constraint. Third, you steer the whole system using time buffers, not crazy arbitrary deadlines. And finally, you target the thieves, all those hidden bad habits and silly policies that are secretly stealing your capacity. Okay, so here's the playbook. This is the manager's take. Before you even think about scaling AI across the organization, you have to stabilize your system first. This means using proven flow principles from methods like critical chain project management, or CCPM. What's that really mean? It means you get ruthless about stopping multitasking and limiting the amount of work in progress. You create a calm, predictable system first. Only then, on top of that stable foundation, can you add a massive accelerator like AI and actually get the benefit. And the difference this makes to your timeline is just, well, it's staggering. If you just throw AI at the current messy system, you're looking at maybe 36 months, 3 years to see the real payoff. But if you stabilize the system with these flow principles first, you can get those same results in just 16 to 24 months. You're literally cutting the time to value almost in half. So what does this actually look like for the business?
Let's talk about the real, tangible, bottom line impact you get when you do this the right way.
First up, let's talk throughput, the actual delivery of value. We're talking about an increase of up to 180%. That's not a typo. That's nearly tripling the amount of value you deliver to your customers, and you're doing it without burning your people out. Next, what about speed? The average lead time, so from the moment an idea is born to when it's in a customer's hands, can be slashed by up to 65%. You're not just delivering more stuff, you're delivering it dramatically faster. And here's the best part. This is not a trade-off. A stable, calm system is a high-quality system. So you get that massive jump in throughput, the huge drop in lead times, and you see quality go up. It's the trifecta that every manager dreams of, and it's what a flow-based system unlocks before AI comes in and supercharges the whole thing. So here's your executive summary. This is the elevator pitch. CCPM makes your delivery pipeline faster and way more predictable. Then, focusing your sales team on the system's constraint improves the actual economic value of the work you're doing. And then, and only then, does AI come in and act as a massive amplifier on top of that faster, more valuable flow. It's really crucial to see AI as one powerful step in a much bigger journey. The roadmap is clear, and it's sequential. Step 1, you perfect your flow. Then, you accelerate that flow with AI. After that, you can move on to solve constraints in other parts of the business, like sales, and invest in platforms for real long-term leverage. This is how you build a truly high-performance company. So let's just end with this simple question. AI is an amplifier. It's going to take whatever you have in your system and make it bigger, louder, and faster. So if your system is already congested and chaotic, AI is just going to give you faster chaos. But if you first take the time to build a system of smooth, predictable, valuable flow, AI will amplify that. The choice is yours. What are you going to choose to amplify?